Hey. Happy Tuesday. It's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm at VadFreeShows.com, SEScoops.com, and Brass Ring Media. Check it out, BrassRingMedia.com. It's a Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday. I just said that. My goodness, I'm all over the place. It's really hot in my apartment. I have no AC. I just have a box fan. It's quite toasty in here, but I'm happy. It warms my heart to be all with you. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat here. We got Triple E. What's up? Wonder if they sold the shoes. Would make a killing on an auction. WWE Unreal is pretty good. We'll talk about a little bit about that. Wrestling Old Happy Tuesday, everybody. And this is how Bron Breakker becomes the dog face grandma. 100%. Wendell Flakes. When will the D to the O to the D-O-double-G actually be in one of these episodes? Remains to be seen. I wanted to make sure that we kind of grow our audience a little bit. And, you didn't know had a great YouTube channel. It was just laying dormant. So I was like, why not put us on there? So I was the former producer of You Didn't Know. So figure, why not? Triple E says, why are you torturing yourself? Get an AC. I grew up without an AC in my apartment. I just grew up without one. We never had an AC in our house. Central air, a unit, nothing. Well, later on we did have a unit. I take that back. But yeah, I was just used to not having an AC. So it's like, I've grown to live without one. Jeff Henninger says, hello, after Raw, that's why you always tie a double knot. Wow. That's a big talk about Roman's shoes getting taken. Holy smokes. Can't take those Jordans, right? Boy, I need a new pair of Jordans. I had a great pair of Jordans back when I lived in Philadelphia. Great pair. I got it at like a hipster thrift shop for relatively cheap. They were awesome Jordans. But I beat them to hell, and they no longer exist. But yeah, it's a good way to build to that match. Now, my initial thoughts, and we talked about this yesterday, was that I would like to see Jay just lose to Bronson. I think Jay could have handled it. I think particularly, too, the fact that you get Jay and Heyman in the opening segment, makes Jay still feel like a big deal. And then him losing feels like a big deal to Bronson. I would have had it happen, but Bron Breakker had a plan. His plan was to destroy Jey Uso. He ended up spearing him on the ramp, and then Roman got involved, and Roman got his Jordans handed away from him. But a good way to kind of build to that match overall, I think. I do think the opening, them paying tribute to Hulk Hogan again here on Raw in a different fashion, was really, really cool. And, you got to see Bischoff. You got to see Nick Hogan and Nick's wife there. And there was some other personalities that were there as well, standing alongside. Trying to think. Punk was featured in the front. There was another notable name up front too. Jey Uso was featured up front. They did a really nice job. Triple H was not on stage this time, but spoke over the announce. Spoke with the microphone. He was not on stage this time. And then they rolled a really, really beautiful video package. It was really good. Like one of the best I've seen, like for that kind of stuff, so really nice tribute that they did. And then they honored Hogan too throughout the show, which was, I also thought was a nice touch, getting some superstars' thoughts on Hogan and the legacy that he left in the WWE and everything. So I thought that was really well done. And also noting, that merchandise, all the proceeds go to his family. And then on top of it too, you have the LJN figure they talked about. So it was very Hogan themed. It'll be interesting to see how they honor him again at SummerSlam. They did note that Hogan is undefeated at SummerSlam, 6-0. So pretty neat statistic there as well. Oh, yes, it was that tall individual was indeed Abyss. Chris Parks. It was that's who it was. It was Abyss. Triple E. Y'all see Dominic Mysterio competing for a Triple E mega title. Yeah, we did see that. I don't think it would do any harm if he won that Triple E mega title. None whatsoever. I mean, the reaction he got, man, yeah, why not? But man, Devin Dowden's got 3 ACs in his house. Man, I'm jealous. I could go for an AC right now. I'm not gonna lie. I have this tea, iced tea, this half day. It's like a probiotic iced tea, but I did not put it in the fridge. I thought I put it in the fridge, but I guess I didn't. And it's still somewhat cool, but not cool enough. But you guys are cool. So let's talk a little bit. I did not watch WWE Unreal. It is creating a lot of news buzz on the Dirt Sheet websites. A lot of articles getting written about what was said, content that was covered. I will talk about part of that. Something that I thought was interesting that I can sympathize with, and I'm sure others can sympathize with too when it comes to CM Punk. But did see the clip of the reaction backstage to Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, their exchange that was off script, where Tiffany went off script on her end, and Triple H basically saying she needed to apologize to Charlotte. Thought that was pretty interesting. I'm hearing, like Triple H said, he enjoyed it. I don't know if I want to watch it or not. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's being covered relatively well, so it doesn't sound like I need to necessarily cover it, but kind of just not my. I like watching the show, and then stuff that's backstage. I like to leave backstage, but I can't deny that it's not going to be interesting. Well, I guess I'll talk about this then. First off, so Punk was on the episode of WWE Unreal, and he spoke about being gripped with what he called anticipatory anxiety. So this is what he had to say. I'm looking at that Raw debut like holy esh. I constantly have what I call anticipatory anxiety now. Like right now, I'm just riddled with it. In a way, I'm almost waiting for it to be all over, and the only time I'm not going to feel that way is when the red light's on and the bell rings. I have no boss. I'm 100% in control. I can do whatever the F I want. And that was for the premiere episode of Raw on Netflix. But there's more that they talk about with Triple H and Punk on WWE Unreal that you get to see and stuff behind the scenes. But it made me think about, when he said that, I'm like, dude, I get anticipatory anxiety all the time. Like, if I have an interview and it's a cool interview with somebody, like, I'm just like, it's weird. It's like I have an existential dread when it comes to stuff like that. Like, oh my God, it's something I'm excited about, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, like just the build and the anticipation towards it, you get this weird feeling. But once you start going, it's totally fine. It's just the aspect of the build to it, where your head can go about everything, and it just shows that you care. So I thought that was a pretty cool quote from Punk there in Unreal. So not saying like that it's certainly worth checking out. It sounds like Unreal. But I don't know how much I really want to watch it. I like watching the wrestling, and I am intrigued by the backstage details, but I kind of like to not know what's going on in certain aspects of it all too at the same time. Oh, thanks. I like your home spring training hat, Dom. I got the away one, legit wearing it right now. No way. Yeah, this is the Yankees spring training hat. I've been a Yankees fan since I was a kid, but like, I also like the Pirates. I like the Cardinals. But it all stems, well, not the Pirates part, but it all stems from Tino Martinez. I was a big Tino Martinez fan for the Yankees, and then I got out of baseball for a couple of years, and then lo and behold, when I got back into it, I was like, I wonder where Tino's at now, and he was with the Cardinals, and they happened to have not just Tino, but they had Albert Pujols, a rookie Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, Scott Rowland got into the fold, Fernando Vina, Edgar Renteria, Matt Morris on the mound. Yadier Molina was not there, I don't think, yet. No, they had Mike Matheny at that point in time. So that's how I got into the Cardinals. But ultimately, I always enjoyed the Yankees. Big Lou Gehrig fan. Oh, man. Look. Jeff Henniger, do you get anxiety like Pedro Pascal? I don't know if I get it to that level. I think he gets really, really anxious. I wish he showed that he cared more in the Fantastic Four movie, because he felt flat. I did not think he was a good Mr. Fantastic at all. I thought he was the weakest part of the movie. I thought everybody else was really, really good, but Mr. Fantastic felt like a wuss. I just didn't like him. I didn't like the character and how he got portrayed. It just, he looked like Raul Julia from the Addams Family when he played Gomez. And then after the fact, I was like, dang it, that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted a Mr. Fantastic like Gomez Adams with personality or something. But he didn't bring it home. I thought the Thing was one of the best parts of the Thing. I wanted more of Ben Grimm. I loved Hermie, the robot. I love the robot. Those are my two favorite parts of the movie. But Sue Storm was cool. Johnny Storm was cool. Galactus looked awesome. I liked the aesthetic of the movie. I thought it was all good. So that's this is a good question. What was better, Superman or Fantastic Four? I'm just gonna give the edge to Superman because of the brand and the name, Superman. Like, I think Superman, David Cornsweet did an awesome job as Superman, and I think, but the movies themselves felt really similar in different, but also different in certain ways, where it's like one movie could have learned from the other, and so I liked both movies pretty much equally, but I'm just going to give the edge to Superman just because of the name cachet and the legacy of Superman. So there we go. Raul Julia was a great M. Bison. Yes, he was. I can't believe like he was battling cancer during that. Man, Raul Julia was awesome. He was really one of my favorite great actors of the 90s. Big influence on my childhood. Okay, but let's talk a little bit of Raw. So let's get up those Raw results. Like I said, I enjoyed the opening stuff with Hogan. Really thought they did a beautiful job with that. Jay and Heyman was good. Made it Hogan feel like made Jay feel like a big deal. Like I said, we had AJ Styles, Kairi Sane, Asuka defeating Dominic Mysterio, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez. Curious how much of this telegraphs the result of Dom versus AJ at SummerSlam. Like, AJ got the pin on Dom. That match was one I'm still excited for, but I'm like, there was that little air of like, oh, who could win this match? Could AJ defeat Dom here and become an Intercontinental Champion again? But I don't know. That kind of takes away a little bit of that unknown there. I don't know. It makes you feel like Dom's going to win. Still excited for the match, but yeah, I don't know. I would have had one of the women pin the other woman, to further stuff. Sheamus defeated Grayson Waller, and then Rusev attacked him. So we'll get more of that later on. We'll get the rubber match between those two at some point or another. Like how Lyra scouted out Becky Lynch. That was cool. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really neat moment. Bayley, we see some dissension and what's the discouragement for her. I think that it's leading up to kind of what Robert was talking about, maybe a heel turn for Bayley, so we could see her maybe cost Lyra the match at SummerSlam. So we'll see what happens. We also had Io Sky, Nikki Bella, and Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Bakir defeating Naomi, Alba Fire, Piper Niven, and Chelsea Green via pinfall. I mentioned yesterday how I was intrigued by multi-person tag match on Raw, and while still cool, they had another one. It was the mixed tag one. So I'm like, dang it, you don't see a lot of multi-person, and we get two on one night with Raw. And I get you're trying to build, align some stories with one another and stuff like that, but and build towards SummerSlam. But I don't know. Probably some other ways to do it, but this multi-woman tag match was was fun enough, and neat to see Nikki Bella in the ring. But good build for Ripley and Sky, Io Sky. We had a World Tag Team title match. Finn Balor and JD McDonough defeating Yoke and Wild and Cruz del Toro via pinfall. This was after interference from El Grande Americano, and 2 of them. So, wonder what's the deal with that. I saw Sean Ross Sapp speculate that was Petey Williams behind the mask. I don't know. I didn't take a closer look. The funny thing is like looking at it just straight on when I just saw a screenshot of it, I thought it was Rey Mysterio just like straight up. I was like, is that Rey Mysterio? It looked like his mask and everything like that. I don't know if I was just looking wrong or what, but yeah, I thought I was. It's interesting that they have a second one. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting that they have a second one. Let's see here. Anything else I wanted to cover when it came to Raw? Oh yeah, Gunther and CM Punk. I thought this exchange was fun. Gunther and Punk play well off of one another. Punk really making the classic babyface case how he needs to have this title. And yeah, good setup for these guys. I'm intrigued. That's happening Saturday, apparently, on the SummerSlam. So that should be a fun match. Looking forward to seeing what those two do in the ring together with one another. Overall, I thought that was a good go-home Raw. I think you set stuff up pretty nicely for what's to come. And, you made things feel like, storylines are going to progress forward here. And so I think ultimately, like, mission accomplished when it comes to that. I think that's the, you don't have to give away the whole hog. I don't think they did that. And I think that it was just, it was a nice little episode of Raw for everybody. Let me make sure. Trying to see. Okay. Hey, we do got, speaking of SummerSlam, we got some stuff to talk about when it comes to SummerSlam. If you want to have some added fun for SummerSlam, why don't you check out a little bit of MyBookie? Yeah, MyBookie is the way you can bet a little bit of monies on SummerSlam, the pay-per-view, the PLE, the PLE. And good reason for it. Cody Rhodes has the crowd momentum in the main event, but something about the street match for Cena feels a little different. The street fight could get ugly in ways we don't expect, and Cody might finally snap. Interesting. At MyBookie, that's what you bet on. Not just who wins, but how it happens. The moment, the chaos, and with SummerSlam finally here, they're giving you every tool to hit. Other books give you the odds. MyBookie gives you the edge. Daily bet boosts, extra plays, just for wagering, and all limited cash when your friends sign up. Oh, yeah. If you didn't know, you can legit use your own referral code and to claim unlimited bonuses. To get started, hit up mybookie.ag and use promo code RUMOR and cash in with a bonus on your first deposit. Drop in $100, get $50 added free. Go bigger, and MyBookie throws and even more. SummerSlam is built for drama. MyBookie is built for getting paid. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. Go to MyBookie. Use promo code RUMOR. MyBookie.ag, promo code RUMOR, or see that little link below in the lower third and go to that. Help support the show. Have a little extra fun with SummerSlam this weekend. All right. What else? Let's take a look at some of your guys' comments here. Anything else going on? What's your opinion of the criticism on SummerSlam this year? This is Wrestling Old Head. A few people are not excited about the build. I think it's a better lineup than WrestleMania 41 on paper. Yeah, I mean, I think the aspect is, this is SummerSlam came pretty quickly, right? And they had some other events to promote before SummerSlam. Saturday night's main event. And then you had like that big wrestling weekend overall when it came to that. So people criticized the aspect of, hey, Evolution wasn't promoted big enough. Well, that show delivered. So SummerSlam's a big event in general. So I think this show will deliver. I think it'll be interesting to see how a 2-day SummerSlam goes, though. I think that they filled out the cards nicely, though. For each night. So, and it feels like a big event. So overall I give it basically like if you're saying the promotion of it, if you're factoring everything in, like the card, the final card, and how it got built, gonna give it a B minus. I think it was overall like, yeah, it's fine. Could things have been built more? And yeah, but like I said, had other stuff on the plate that they had to focus on too at the same time. Uh-oh. Cammy Star just says, just wanted to say bye to the friends in the chat. I think I'm going to step away from the live. The chaos made my after morning. I will miss you, boys. Oh, man, so you're not tuning in live, Cammy? Is that what you mean moving forward? We will miss you if that is the case. If you just mean for the day, we'll see you later. But, yeah, if you need the breather, you need to step away from the live. But see you later, Cammy. Best of luck in your future endeavors. Hope you come back. Always a good guest is Cammy on here. Always good in the chat. Cammy, shout out to her. Jeff Henniger also says that he thinks it was Pete Dunne. That's a good guess. It's a really good guess. But let's see here. But yeah, overall, good show, episode of Raw. Be interesting to see what they do and build for SummerSlam this week when it comes. SmackDown will be at the Prudential Center where the Devils play, the New Jersey Devils. So right in the thick of the SummerSlam environment there. Let's take a quick look at the dirt sheet, see if there's anything else I want to touch upon before we close this out. Just read about that one. I mean, all this stuff, a lot of this stuff is stuff that gets talked about on Unreal. So, I think just watch Unreal if you want to talk about some things or, get some added perspective on it. Yeah, I'll try to I'll get around to watching it. Maybe I'll try to watch it on my trip to Jersey ahead of SummerSlam. But this is an interesting thing. Apparently, according to Fightful Select, Cody Rhodes was asked to read for a part in Happy Gilmore 2, movie we talked about yesterday. Report states that Rhodes had talks with the film's production team and was requested to read for an unspecified role. However, scheduling conflicts ultimately prevented from it becoming a real possibility. It's not known how serious the talks were behind the initial request. While a role for Rhodes didn't work out, the film does feature several other stars. MJF, obviously, Becky Lynch, and Nikki Bella, all are in there. A bit neat to see Cody Rhodes there, but seems like there was a lot of cameos anyways in Happy Gilmore. So, not a total bummer, I guess. I think Cody's like right on the right track for being a star, outside of wrestling even. So pretty neat stuff. Wrestling Old Ed when it comes to SummerSlam. I agree though, Dom. I don't mind the build considering they had only a few weeks to build. Yeah, I think it was fine for what you had to work with and everything like that. I think SummerSlam still feels like a big deal. You're getting Cody and Cena. You're getting CM Punk and Gunther. Rhea and Io Sky, like with Naomi in that triple threat match. Things are feeling like a really big time card here. Plus Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, hopefully. Devin Dowling says, I worked on the Prudential Center as well as at my job. Just the UBS Arena was my baby. So the UBS Arena, correct me, yeah, never mind. I answered my own question in my head. The UBS Arena is where the Islanders play. And the other one, because it used to be the Izod Center, right? Devin Dowling was the Izod Center. That's when I was at WrestleMania, in 2013. I think it was called the Izod Center then. Yeah, wow. That kind of stuck in my head there. So Newark, that's where the Devils play. I've been to that. I've been to a Devils game before. Prudential Center. Yes, correct. Where Slammiversary just was in Forbidden Door, it's completely different stadium. How crazy is that? Slammiversary took place in an NHL hockey arena. It's good stuff. Good to think about. I wonder why LA Knight and Penta have disappeared. Good question. I mean, talk about it. I mean, the dance card's pretty full for both nights. I guess there's no harm in not having them on there, but yeah, just all the spots are filled. So, all right. I do not watch any of WLFG. I know RVD does. RVD and Katie both watch it, and they're into it. I should try to watch it. But yeah. All right, guys. I think that'll do it for me. We're going to end this one a little early. I got to catch up on stuff around my house and then get situated for my trip on Thursday. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in today, having a good time. It's always nice to talk to and interact with the chat. Cammy, I hope you come back at some point. But thank you everybody for tuning in. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out rvdtv.com and check out the Hulk Hogan episode. We talk about Hulk Hogan and get different perspectives, Rod's perspective on things, and the act of kindness Hogan did for him the one time that Rob happened to mention. And there's a lot of other good stuff on there too. So be sure to check out rvdtv.com, like, share, subscribe, get the word out. Also, if you're a Robert Karpelos fan and you're not a part of the Working Stiff Patreon, consider giving it a try. You can sign up, and him and Scott do a really, really great episode talking about the passing of Hulk Hogan. It's good. Robert's such a smart mind for everything when it comes to that, and he talks about that more in depth too when it comes in. Scott gives his own perspective. It's funny, because I was saying Scott's about my age, but I'll be curious to see what he has to say about Hogan. Well, the thing is he's maybe a little bit of a wrestling generation before I was, so he didn't grow up with Hogan, not even NWO Hogan, basically. So he does give his perspective, and it's interesting. But he's also aware of the history of wrestling. So give it a check out, try out Working Stiff. It is up now on the Patreon. Oh, you turned 30 today? No, hold on a second. Let me make sure I'm reading everything. Do you turn 30 today? Triple E, happy birthday if that's the case. Do I remember where I was 30 decades ago? Well, I was 10 years old. July. Oh, God. I could not tell you. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what I was doing. I was probably hanging out Ridgeway, Cheney's parking lot, riding my bike or something. That's probably what I was doing. Happy birthday, Triple E. Yeah, it is his birthday. Wow. Okay. All right. Happy B-Day, man. Happy 30. 30s are great. 30s are a great, great age. You learn more about yourself, and you just feel a little bit more freer, a little bit more educated on how life moves along. 30 is a great age. It really is. I'll trade you. I'm going to trade. 40s. I'm all right being 42. So, but yeah, and happy birthday to you. So good stuff. All right. That'll do it for us. What a fun way to end it. Yes, we come live every Monday through Friday on Ad Free Shows YouTube, on Rumor and Innuendo YouTube, on Oh You Didn't Know YouTube channel, plus the creative_ish X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, and the SC Scoops X account. So you can catch us anywhere on your podcast feed of choice, whether that's Spotify, iTunes, Apple, or whatever it may be. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, help out the show, and enjoy everything. I'll be back tomorrow. That will be my final show of the week. So I guess I might. Well, I'll be with Justin Barrasso. So me and Justin Barrasso will preview Dynamite, and we'll give our predictions for SummerSlam too, I think, at the same time. So should be an action-packed show. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, and we'll have some fun. But thank you all for tuning in. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And yeah, we're on the road to SummerSlam. It's hot and heavy here. Ooh, Steven, I need an AC. Help me out.